Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Eco Times 2020. Hope you all are good. Hope you enjoy learning through my videos. Today we are going to take up the chapter Introduction to Microeconomics, the first chapter of our microeconomics book. Let's get started with the first question. So friends, let's begin with the first question. Difference between macro and microeconomics. Let me tell you that don't pay much attention to whatever I have written over here because I have written in short forms. So you better understand what I am saying. Just pay attention to what I'm saying, okay? Let's get started. Micro and macro. Micro studies the behavior of individual facts. Macro studies the economy as a whole. Micro is demand and supply. Studies demand and supply, and macro studies aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Micro is related to price policy and determination of price of commodity, and macro is related to income and employment. This is the first question. It is really easy and it mostly comes in 3 marks, and if it comes in 4 marks or 6 marks, it doesn't come in 4 and 6 marks, but if in finals or in your essays, in your midterms, if it comes for 4 marks, just add some other example or some other point from your book that is being prescribed by your school. Let's move on to the second question and the most important question. Central problems of the economy. So friends, mark my words, this question is the most important question of all the questions in this chapter because you have to learn it and use your brain to learn it because this is the base of economics. Let's start with the question. Just learn it as it is. It is written in a perfect way. You should learn it as it is. So let me start with the explanation of this question. The central problems of an economy. It has 3 central problems of economy that are what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. So the first central problem is what to produce. It is the problem of goods and services and quantity to be produced of each selective commodity. Since resources are limited, therefore we cannot produce all the goods. So the goods are divided into 2 types, consumer goods and capital goods. Consumer goods are those goods which are used for direct satisfaction like wheat, vegetables, milk, etc. Capital goods are those goods which are used for the production of consumer goods like machine and tools. So to produce this pen, the machine used is a capital good and this pen is a consumer good. Hope you understood the first central problem of economy. Let's move on to the second central problem of economy. So let's move on to the second central problem of economy. How to produce. It is the problem of choice of technique. There are 2 types of techniques, labor intensive and capital intensive. Labor intensive. To produce per unit of output, more labor is required as compared to capital. Capital intensive. To produce per unit of output, more capital is required as compared to labor. So here, labor intensive means more requirement of labor but less requirement of capital. Capital intensive means more requirement of capital and less requirement of labor. Can you tell me, is India a labor intensive or capital intensive economy? Just think about it and let me know in the comments section. Let us move on to the third and the last central problem of economy. for whom to produce. It is the problem of distribution of national income among the four factors of production, that is, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Since goods and services are provided to only those people who have the capacity to purchase it, and the capacity to purchase depends upon the level of income of the consumer. Therefore, it is the problem of distribution of national income to factors of production. Let me tell you that in the exam, this question can be twisted and given to you as how can be income distributed among the four factors of production. So you'll have to write the same explanation for that question as well. And after this, I will be giving you the guiding principles of all the three central problems of society, so of economy. Okay? Let's move on to the definition of opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the next best cost of next best opportunity or alternative that has been foregone. Okay, so this is one of the largest and most of the time asked question in the exams and the most important one as well. PPC, Production Possibility Curve, or some people say it as PPF, Production Possibility Frontier. So, let me tell you that in the finals, in the midterm, in the first term, the school will surely ask this question because it is a 6-marker, and in 20 marks UTs as well, it will come as a 6-marker if you have the first 2 chapters as your UT lessons. Let's get started with the most important, and sometimes if you understand, some people who understand this concept will earn full marks in this question, I guarantee you. So you have to learn the full question with full concentration. Define PPC. PPC is a graphical representation of two goods which can be produced by given technology and resources. Assumptions of PPC. Here, assumptions means that what all we have assumed to draw a PPC curve. So, assumptions of PPC are: resources are fixed, technology is unchanged, there is full employment, there is no unemployment, all the resources are fully and efficiently utilized and used. Resources are transferable from one good to another. These 2 points are the most 1, 4 and 5th. These 3 points are the most important assumptions. If you forget these 2, there is no harm. If you forget these 3, there is harm and you will not score full marks. The teacher might cut half a mark for this mistake. So never do this mistake. Properties of PPC or PPF. There are 2 properties of PPC and they are the most important ones, as they can be asked separately as well in 1 or 2 markers. To what the reason is behind these 2 properties. PPC is downward sloping and PPC is concave to the origin. They ask you why they are downward sloping and concave to origin, and I will give you the answer to that. PPC is concave to origin due to increasing marginal rate of transformation or increasing MOC, marginal opportunity cost. It means that to produce 1 unit of X commodity, we'll have to sacrifice more units of Y commodity. Marginal rate of transformation is increasing because it is assumed that all the resources are equally and efficiently used in the production of all goods, and resources are transferable from one good to another, and they are efficiently used. These 2 are the properties of PPC, and we are over with the PPC topic. I hope you understood, and I will write the answers at the end of the video, give you the answers to why they are downward sloping and why it is concave to the origin. So stay tuned. Okay, let's deal with some important terms that can be asked as a one marker in your question paper in midterm or maybe in the UTs as well. Define MOC or marginal opportunity cost or MRT, marginal rate of transformation. MOC refers to the number of units of a commodity that are sacrificed to gain or get additional unit of another commodity. Why economic problems arise? Economic problems arise due to limited resources and unlimited wants and demands of the people. It means that the resources are scarce in relation to the wants in the economy. And now here comes the difference between positive and normative economics. It is also one of the most important differences asked in the exams. Positive and normative. Positive economy deals with what is, and normative deals with what ought to be. That means that it is verified, it can be verified with actual data. It cannot be verified with actual data because it is what we think that should happen, and it is what is in reality. So we can say that this is real and this is artificial. It doesn't give any value judgment. It gives value judgment. For example, prices in India are constantly rising. India should take steps to control rising prices. So normative economy deals with what should be or what ought to be, and positive economy deals with what is in reality. That's all for today, students, friends, pupil. Stay tuned and I will give you the differences of all the other previous chapters that we have already discussed, and some of the true false and MCQs. I'll be posting them on Instagram. Here is my Instagram handle, and please do go and follow me on Instagram, and I'll post all the notes on Instagram. And stay tuned and be safe, be happy. Thank you for watching, guys.
Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel and follow me on Instagram and check out all the notes and posts on Insta, and all the left out small topics will be covered on Insta.